My name is 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲cie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here. If you caught the last video, you were talking about what really matters, and I want to keep talking about that because I think it's important. You know, as a recovering people pleaser, it has been very easy in my life to do for others, to make others my priority, to make sure that everybody else was happy, even if I wasn't, you know, to sacrifice myself and martyr myself in the name of being liked or loved, all while being a highly achieving individual, which is why people didn't understand that I was wrestling with self-esteem and what would later be known as people pleasing. The term, I don't necessarily think it existed when I was younger, but I would come into the knowledge of that later on in life. And so, like I said, many of the people that follow me and that, you know, enjoy my videos, my content, my classes, my workshops, my group programs, they can recognize that within themselves, this people-pleasing thing, right? And, you know, as we talk more about what really matters, as much as, you know, I'm always torn, right, when I'm talking about people-pleasing, because you know what? It feels good to help people. It does. It feels good to help people. It feels good to do for other people. It feels good to brighten someone's day. And I don't want to say there's anything wrong with that, because it's not. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that action. Where the people pleasing and the challenges come in are the motives. If you're doing these things because you feel like you have to earn their love or their like, or this is what makes you worthy, this is what allows you to take up space in the world, then that is where we have the problem. Because that means that you're more than likely going to make decisions that do not favor you. And so as I'm here feeling really pressed to share with you about what really matters, what comes to me is a term that I use all the time. Like if you go back into my videos, you'll see it. Probably more than I say reciprocity, I more than likely use this word. And I know probably people get tired of hearing me say it because I say it so much. But one of the things that I know that impacted my life was this word and my lack of understanding for what it meant. Because again, if you're a people pleaser and if you have people pleasing as one of your default settings, so many times you have not engaged in this. In fact, you weren't even seeking this because you didn't even think that it existed. Because as a people pleaser, that's your focus, is pleasing the people, whatever the reason may be. That's the focus. So you're not even sure that this even exists. And so when it's introduced to you, you probably say something like, oh, but honestly, it was introduced to you a long time ago. Picture it. 1978. I don't know. You're on a playground. Maybe some of you are. Some of you aren't even born. And that's okay too. Just fast forward to a year when you might have been on a playground. So you're on a playground and you're on this thing called a seesaw. And you and a friend are going up and down on the seesaw. And it's really important that the other person is there because that helps the seesaw go up and down. Now, I don't know about you, but there's nothing worse than having that seesaw slam to the ground. I don't care what is going on. When that seesaw slams to the ground, your whole life is rearranged. You could have been the happiest kid ever. But when somebody jumps off of the seesaw and you go wham, there is no worse feeling. Okay, there probably are some worse feelings, but when you're a kid, probably not. That's probably top 10, okay? But you know why you were introduced to that concept early in life? Because the lesson you were supposed to learn is the word I'm about to share with you. And that word is balance. And balance is what really matters. The balance in how we engage with our fellow humans, the balance of making sure that we have the right people on the other end of our seesaw so we can keep going up and down and enjoying our life in balance. See, the problem with not being in balance is that it creates something called imbalance. And the problem with imbalance, as I've often said, is that when imbalance is present, abundance is fleeting. And listen, I just caught a memory in social media, and then I added a third part that said, and disease and it is inevitable. 𝘃𝗶𝗀𝗲𝗏, right? Right. So in going back to what really matters, I'm going to say to you, balance is what matters. So just like I challenged you in the last video, I'm going to challenge you in this video to seek balance today for yourself. If you feel like a relationship, maybe you've been giving too much, figure out how you can pull that back into balance. How can you be in balance? How can you not overgive? How can you not overperform and overdo in this relationship? Wherever you have found and identified imbalance, what can you do to fix it and bring things back into balance? You know what I'm going to say next, right? That's all I have to say about that. My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, speaker, teacher, author, and coach, here to remind you to always be your own superhero and to thank you guys so much for loving and learning and figuring out what really matters and finding balance with me. See you on the next video.